Hey everyone, this is my second rhetorical analysis. Just like the first one, I'm going to post the video by itself so that you can watch it separate from this. That'll make this go hopefully a little bit quicker because I don't have to explain everything that's going on. But for this one, I wanted to choose a music video, and specifically I wanted to choose a music video that doesn't have any particular narrative element to it. Just to highlight the fact that even in things where it might at first seem like there isn't all that much to analyze in something rhetorically, if you sit with it or put the right, put the right lens over it, you can find something to dig into. So I just picked a random video I'd seen before that didn't have narrative. And here are my thoughts on this. So I was thinking about the song itself for this, which is like a retro sort of disco sounding, like late 70s song. And specifically the title of the song is This How You Feel? And the song is, I would say, about feeling in love with someone and being ready to tell them, and not really knowing whether they feel it back or not, but you're just so excited by the fact that you're in love that's kind of, you know, enough for you or whatever. Like that's where the excitement comes from. And so there's sort of an inherent tension in the lyrics themselves to just the song because there's love, which people like to be in. But who knows what's going to happen when it's after they ask, is this how you feel? Are you also in love? The other person could say, no, actually, I just see you as a friend. And that would be a bummer. So there's a tension there that works for the song. So in the video, there are a couple main elements that I wanted to point out that feel in line with that. So let's look here. So the first thing I was noticing is that there are these overlays to everything. These what do you call them? Partially see where the opacity is turned down, and it's like smoke and or it makes them look like they're underwater. Like here you can see this going on. Here you see some smoke over the guitarist. Here it's water, and then the other thing it's doing a lot, it has a lot of lens flares, but it also has a lot of this. It has a lot of duplicates of people, and the image is sort of expanding and moving around and coming together. So my take on this video rhetorically is that it's sort of playing on 70s nostalgia that is also found in the song and using tropes that you would see in sort of a 70s style music video, especially that kaleidoscope type effect. That was something that they'd kind of just figured out how to do when disco was big, and so you'd see it in music videos all the time. And then using these other techniques that aren't necessarily retro based, but that create sort of a sense of confusion over place. Like another one, let me fast forward to it here. So you have here the guitarist is playing. Let me go back so you can see more of it. And it sort of looks like he's standing underwater or something like that because of this effect that they're using of these light rays coming down. And so I would argue that what this music video is doing is that it's taking that sort of in dual joy and tension in feeling a love for someone that might be unrequited, and it's doing lots of things that sort of discombobulate you as a viewer of the music video, or sort of that create a confusion of place and time, and almost, and it's sort of subconsciously letting you link those two things together so that the imagery reinforces that sort of tension in the song, this sort of joy that comes with its own sort of fear. And so you have this, it's like they both are and aren't just playing on a stage. There's lots of shots like this one where it's sort of just them jamming out on stage, but then, yeah, like here you go. The lights come in and start to mess with that a little bit. What else do you have? Things like this, duplicates of people being overlaid on top of each other. So I would say that it's like visually recreating the confusion of emotion that can happen when you are in love with someone but not sure if they love you back. And it's using the sort of sonic qualities of the song, those throwback retro 70s vibe, as a cue for that. And it's like throwing all of that together. So yeah, I just wanted to pick something that is less narrative and more. And by the way, just to clarify, these are also, I would say, large. This is essentially like an emotional appeal. There's not a lot of logic to it. It's all stuff that you have to sort of like intuit and figure out itself. It's not really spelling it out for you, and there's not so much about ethos and what I've talked about. I think there is something to get into ethos with the idea of a music band in general. So just to go through that, when you see these people like playing and how they're doing it, like one thing that really stands out to me is that where is he? Yeah, this guitarist right over here. Right here. He's like using like an old school Gretsch guitar, and he's got like a 50s greaser jacket on and stuff like that. And that very much is in the realm of ethos. And so like, and then you have the singer and the way she's like looking at the camera. The way the guitarist plays, he's not looking at the camera, he's like focused on his instrument. All of these things like play into how you perceive this band. So you could also do a separate take on this where you talk about, a music video like this solely through the lens of like, this video is designed to make you like want to be this band, to just show that they're like the coolest people ever. They're like so retro and hip and cool, and like there's a part later on where they're like kind of rocking out a little bit more, dancing around, all this stuff, things like and that is more that has more to do with ethos. And again, like I said, ethos is kind of the trickiest one to work within, but things like that, like and I talked about like intention, right? Like these outfits were all chosen for a reason. The specific combo of outfits and the way the band members are like positioned on the stage and stuff like that, and the way that they choose who to show and when, all of that stuff kind of plays into this idea of like, this is a cool band, don't you want to be these guys? That's the message that they're trying to get across, and this video is also doing that. And that's a perfectly fine angle to also take an analysis of this video in. And and that you just have to say whether or not you think it's working, which I haven't really mentioned this too much before, but it's worth getting into. Like, don't be afraid to be bold, both in what you think a video is doing and also whether or not you think it's working. Like when you get to that part, don't be afraid if you strongly feel like it either is or isn't, to just say what you feel. There isn't a wrong answer. The only way an answer can be, I guess, like wrong in this context is to not show like thought and consideration. So if you can't explain why you don't think it is or isn't working, that's not good. But as long as you can say, like, I think this is absolutely awful, it's not doing anything close to what it wants to do because of these reasons, that's great. Be bold. Have a strong take. I always encourage that. So yeah, that hopefully gives you a little bit to go off of, just in terms of how exactly you can sort of apply these ideas of rhetorical analysis to the videos that you'll be choosing.